A viewer asked a question that touches on an issue I've struggled with for as long as I can remember in both my reading and writing lives. I've been told I needed to improve in this area multiple times, and over the years I've taken some steps toward that goal, yet it is still something I struggle with. Hi, my name is Patricia Charpentier, and welcome to episode 105 of the Life Writers Vlog, where you can find inspiration and useful tips to help you write your life stories. What this listener asked was, do I need a good vocabulary to write? Do I need a good vocabulary to write? Well, it certainly can't hurt. On standardized tests, I always scored low in the vocabulary area. I bought books and memorized words and definitions, but soon forgot them when I didn't use them in my speech and writing. I really admire someone with a great vocabulary. I love to hear the wide range of words they use that I don't normally hear in regular conversation. When I read, I always look up the words I don't know the meanings of, but somehow the definitions don't stay in my mind. I find myself looking up some words that are familiar to me that I've seen a number of times, but still can't remember the definitions to. In journalism school at LSU in Baton Rouge, we had spelling tests every week in some courses to ensure we knew how to correctly spell some of the tricky words, whether they ended in ANT or ENT, ENCE or ANCE, ERY or ARY, if they had double or single consonants and such. But we were taught to write to a 6th grade level, so vocabulary enhancement wasn't a big part of the curriculum. Recently, I subscribed to Merriam-Webster's Word of the Day. I signed up to those kinds of email lists before, but the words were all obscure words that I had never read, much less ever used. This one is different. Many of the words are familiar, with one unusual word thrown in every so often, like lèse-majesté. That came out recently. It refers to an actual crime or offense or something likened to a crime or an offense. That's probably not a word you'll ever read in my writing, but at least I know what that word means, for now, anyway. I have a sense of the meaning of a lot of words, but I have a difficult time actually coming up with a solid definition of the word. That's why I always look up words I don't know when I read. My husband says he loves to read books after me because I always look up the hard words and write the definitions in the margins. Using an e-reader of some type like Kindle or Nook makes looking up the definitions so easy because the dictionary is built right into the device. I remember reading a book in grad school that drove me crazy because I could not find definitions for a number of the words in that book. Every time I came across one, I'd look in the dictionary, search the internet, and I could not find the word. In frustration, I gave up the hunt. When I mentioned my frustration to a classmate, he said, "Oh yeah, she makes words up." That annoyed me greatly. If you want to know the name of that book, it's a novel that won a Pulitzer Prize called The Shipping News by Annie Proulx. Good book, but if you come across some odd words, don't bother looking them up because she made them up. Every September, Merriam-Webster adds words to the dictionary. Workers there spend the entire year compiling lists of words from academic journals to social media to decide which ones should become part of the dictionary. If you'd like to read an interesting book, take a look at Word by Word, The Secret Life of Dictionaries, written by Corey Stamper, who is an editor at Merriam-Webster. interesting insight into the process of finding and adding words to the dictionary. Last month, Merriam-Webster added 200 new words. These included beach read, true crime, freestyle, street corn, touch grass, nepo baby, creepy crawly. Many of those words are commonly used and familiar to us, but they have not officially been in the dictionary until now. If you'd like to see more of the words added, I'll give you a link to check that out. Back to the viewer's question. Do I need a good vocabulary to write? As I said, it certainly won't hurt to have a good vocabulary. You'll have at your disposal a great many words that could enhance your writing. Plus, you'll save time when reading by not having to look up so many words. But I believe you can be a good writer without having a vocabulary that sends a reader to the dictionary on every other page. If you fill your stories with words you'd never use in conversation, your writing will likely come off sounding inauthentic. But if you have a great vocabulary, use it. I would never encourage anyone to write down to a certain education level unless he or she is writing age-specific stories for children or teens. Tell me about you. Do you have a good vocabulary? If so, how did you acquire your good vocabulary? Do you do anything currently to expand it? If you have an average vocabulary, are you satisfied with it? Do you look up words you don't really know the meanings of? Do you use any tools to help you expand your vocabulary? Tell us about your experience with words in the comments section below. But whether you have an expansive vocabulary or a functional one, remember, the only way to do this wrong is to not do it at all. The only way to do this wrong is to not do it at all. Until next time, happy writing, everyone.
Don't miss the next episode. Sign up to be notified of future posts and upcoming events. Use the buttons below to share this episode on social media or with a friend who might like it. If you enjoyed this week's episode, you will love our Life Writers membership. Whether you don't know where to start writing your life stories, have started and stopped many times, or have been writing but want to receive feedback to make your stories better, the Life Writers membership is where you need to be. We have a Get Started roadmap, an extensive library of instructional videos, live events via Zoom, and a supportive and active community. If you want to take the stories that live in your heart and mind and put them into words on the page, check out Life Writers at lifewriters.us.